Hello, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to show you how to successfully grow your own lemon trees at home, even if you live in a colder climate. I'm going to show you the smallest one first that we had just planted about 3 weeks ago. It actually takes approximately 2 to 3 weeks for a lemon seed to come up, and we usually don't germinate these at all. Usually what you want to do with your lemon seed, actually these are just basic grocery store lemon seeds. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you get all of the lemon juice off of your seed. I usually just put the lemon seed in my mouth and kind of swish it around and get all the juice off of the seed. Now this one here is a very rare type of lemon tree. You'll actually see two. This is called a split lemon tree. It's actually from one seed, and if you noticed, it might be a little blurry. We have one tree here and one right next to it, which is very rare. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to have a separate root or not, but basically when you see these, actually I have a bigger one over here. This is one that came from one seed. Got two trees out of one seed here. It's actually very rare. You will get it though if you plant enough seeds. And usually they do have a separate root, but sometimes they don't. And when you get this type of tree with the two split, one of these is actually a replica of the exact lemon that you had planted. It's a clone actually. One of these is going to be exactly just like the other one that you had planted. You'll never know which one until you actually get the lemons. So, and these here are just basic one lemon tree here. These were planted about a month ago. These are a month old. And right now our temperatures are, getting a little cold at night. We're almost into October, so our temperatures are down to the mid-50s. And we're bringing these up to the house, right now. I want to show you over here. This one over here, it's a little blurry. This is my very first lemon tree, as you can tell, hopefully. It's in that black pot. That one will be coming up to the house later. It's a little heavy for me to lift. That one was actually born May 18th, which is my anniversary. So that little guy is 5 months of age. And you want to keep the temperatures of your lemon tree probably at this age, since they're young, I would say no colder than maybe 53 degrees and no hotter than 85, because that's, the climate that they like anyway. And like I said, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to come up. And when you transition them in your house, when your weather cools off, you don't want to shock them and bring them in right away. You want to gradually, get the temperatures down. Like, for instance, if it's usually 80 in your house and it's 50 outside, you don't want to bring them directly in. You want to kind of gradually bring them in and, take them back out. And we're getting ready to actually bring these in and put a grow light over them. We'll get into talking about grow lights in just a minute. Now for your fertilizer, what we use is, we use something called Job's Organic sticks. They look like little oval-shaped sticks. It's called Job's Organic Tropical Fruit stuff for that. But you don't want to put the whole thing in. I know the back label will say to put one whole one in, because basically they're just talking about older trees. Since these trees are young, you want to break off the fertilizer sticks, kind of small, and usually just put one down in there for each plant. Now, since this one is really little, you would want to break the fertilizer stick very small, because if you over-fertilize, it will burn them up, it will kill them. And this little guy doesn't get anything yet, because he's too little yet. Yeah, actually, the one over here is actually the very first one that I grew from a seed. And it's doing pretty good. They go through growth spurts, and then they'll slow down, and that's really not a big deal. This one here was the second one that I grew. Now, getting into grow lights, when you bring your plants in, if you live in a colder climate, that is. If you're in a warm climate, then you don't have to bring anything in. But, yeah, we don't want these guys to get down past 50 right now because they're very young yet. Of course, most, larger adult lemon trees can survive 40 degrees and up, But we have noticed these little guys do not even like a lot of heat yet. And actually, we had some brown leaves on this one that we had to pick off. And I believe it was because of the temperature changes at night. Because we're still at like 80 degrees, and then at night we're dropping to like 50. So we're starting to, wean these on to bring them into the house. And the grow lights that we're going to be using are the high-pressure sodium lights. They're very good for this sort of thing, for tropical trees, or the metal halide lights. I'm just starting to get into all this, so I'm just learning about the different lighting. Those are your best two, metal halide and the high-pressure sodium lights. You can use fluorescent lights, but those are basically for supplemental lighting. If you don't have a lot of light coming through a window, you're probably going to need the high-pressure sodium or the metal halide light. If you do have a lot of light, then you just want to supplement the tree with a basic light. It would probably be okay. A lot of lights are actually gonna do the trick, but those are the best two. Those are actually for the growth. I wouldn't really recommend using a regular light bulb for these, although I have grown some of these from a seed under just an average light, but then you want to transport them as soon as you can. And your tip on watering, you don't want to soak these at all. They don't like it real soaked. They like splurts of water about every 2 or 3 days. What we usually do is put our finger down in here, and about an inch down, if it feels dry, you're going to want to water them. And if they're going to be indoors, you want to mist them at least once a day. And your heat lamp, your heat light rather, you don't want it hanging too close, but you don't want it too far away. I don't think the high-pressure sodium lights give off a lot of heat, so they're actually good for not burning your plants up. And you want to make sure that they get 8 to 12 hours a day of light, whether it's through a window or it's through the lighting. We're going to try our best to give these little guys some real light from the sun. We're just not sure where we're going to put them yet. We have a couple options. But if we can't get, regular lighting to come in, we're just going to have to use the supplemental lighting the whole entire time. And for oxygen, you want to have a fan blowing. You don't have to do it constantly all day. But you want to at least have a fan on these little fellas. Just for oxygen, especially if they're going to be in a smaller room. We're probably going to use our fan a couple times a day, just to give them air. And, that would probably help them. I'm actually trying to keep these out here until November, but I don't see that happening right now, because the leaves were actually turning brown, like I said, on this one, and I had a couple brown spots on this one, and then my older one. So I believe it is the temperature changes doing that. And actually, I'm gonna sell these, some of them, for people who want to buy them. I'm not going to get into that right now in this video, because I'm basically just doing a grow video for everybody to watch. I'm trying to think of more things to cover on these. Like I said, you don't want to make them go into shock by bringing them in too soon. You want to gradually, bring them in when the weather is not too different from your indoor temperature. And you can do that a couple times a day. You can bring them in. It does get to be a pain when you have really big pots to have to lug around, which, is a pain in the neck if you're going to be bringing them in and out. But yeah, we're going to try our best to keep these out here till November and put them back out in April. Gradually, of course. And For the lemons, of course, it can take up to 10 years to actually get lemons on these, about 6 to 10 years. And another thing I wanted to point out is what type of lemon tree that you're planting. Now, I don't believe any of these are called the Meyer lemon. Meyer lemons only get to be about 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet. I think these are the basic traditional lemons, which these can actually get very big, like over 8 feet tall. So, of course, you can prune them, and that would help a lot with, you know, if they're going to be indoors totally, you know, you're going to have to prune them because they're going to get pretty tall. And yeah, like I said, it takes about 6 to 10 years to get lemons. So I'm really kind of looking forward to that in the future. But yeah, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, you'll still have pretty plants, pretty tropical trees. I think I covered everything up with the lighting and the fertilization. And of course the type of dirt. We just use basic dirt that we were using for our garden, which is a pretty good soil. You know, it was a little bit of fertilizer stuff in there already. And yeah, I noticed that I had actually just fertilized all of them about a week ago, and this one had already got a bigger, fatter leaf. So that stuff definitely works. And you don't want to over-fertilize either. Like I said, for these, you want to make sure that you use small little chunks if you're going to use the fertilizer sticks. They're actually called spikes, fertilizer spikes. And they're like a shape, like an oval shape, long little stick. We usually do ours about every month and a half. But you don't have to. If you see your plant growing really good and you're doing well, you can fertilize even less. The most important time to fertilize is spring, summer, and fall. You could do it any time, basically, though. You don't want to overdo that. And you'll notice new shoots coming up here, very small. I think that covers everything. You want to make sure you have a little bit of, you know, supplemental lighting if you're going to have a window for these. In my case, I'm probably going to have to use the light until April. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching my video. Goodbye.